Mishnah Yud-Bet. Yoezer ish habira, Yoezer, a man from the city of Bira. יש מפרשים שבירה היינו שם מקום סמוך לירושלים. There are those who explain that Bira is a city that is close to ירושלים. ויש מפרשים, and there are those who explain, איש הבירה, the man of the בירה, הממונה על הבירה שבהר הבית. That he is the one who is responsible for the בירה that is in the Temple Mount. I don't know what בירה is. שכן אמר רבי יוחנן, because רבי יוחנן says, מקום היה בהר הבית, there was a place in the Temple Mount, ובירה שמו, and בירה was his name. יש סוברים שהכוונה למגדל שהיה בהר הבית, it was a structure that used to stand in Temple Mount. ברם, לדעת ריש לקיש, according to ריש לקיש, כל המקדש כולו קרוי בירה. It says the temple itself is called בירה. שנאמר, ולשלמה בני תן לבב שלם לשמור מצוותיך, because it says in דברי הימים, and to Solomon my son, give him a complete heart to keep all your commandments, ולבנות הבירה אשר הכינותי, and to build the בירה that I prepared. ולפי זה יש לפרש, according to this we have to explain, יועזר איש הבירה, that יועזר the man of the בירה, הממונה על המקדש. He's the Rabbi of the בית המקדש. He's the main guy. He's the Rabbi of the בית המקדש. והיה נחמיה, okay. היה, so this יועזר, no matter what it was, היה מתלמידי בית שמאי, was from the students of the house of שמאי. ואמר, שאלתי את רבן גמליאל הזקן, and he says, I asked Rabban Gamliel Zaken, I asked this question that we're dealing with now. I asked Rabban Gamliel Zaken, who was Rabban Gamliel Zaken? Now, this is many generations after Shamai Hillel. Okay. But Rabban Gamliel Zaken was the grandson of Hillel. So, if he heard it, we can rely on it, because he heard it from Hillel. נכדו של הלל, he was the grandson of Hillel, כשהיה עומד בשער מזרח. I'm going to discuss this a little bit later. That used to stand, when he used to stand in the east gate, שבהר הבית, that is in the Temple Mount, ואמר, and he heard from רבן גמליאל הזקן, he says, לעולם אינו אוסר, it never prohibits, בין שנפל שאור של איסור בתחילה, whether it was the fermentation of truma first, בין שנפל בסוף, whether it was last, אינו אוסר את העיסה. It never prohibits the dough עד שיהיה בו בשאור של איסור, until it will have enough in it, כדי לחמץ, enough to ferment. את העיסה, the עיסה. בעל תוספוס יום טוב כותב, בעל תוספוס יום טוב writes, שמעשה זה הובא לראיה, that this story was brought to as a proof, שאף מתלמידי בית שמאי קיבלו מבית הלל. It says that even the house of Shamai agreed over here to the house of Hillel that it has to do with measure. If it doesn't have measurement, even the house of Shammai did not accept it. Did not permit it.
Why do I need this proof? What?
Because you
not
could.
Enough the חכמים אומרים?
No.
אומר לי, החכמים אומרים, בסדר.
No, it's not enough, because you would think, if it just says חכמים אומרים, the sages says, you would think the house of Shammai has a legitimate logic.
Oh.
Their logic is good the way it is. Now they're telling you, if you're thinking like the house of Shammai, you should know that your logic is not good. There is no such logic. If the house of Shammai agree to this, and you still thinking that the Isur doesn't have to have enough on its own, you don't understand the house of Shammai. Because even the logic of the house of Shammai agrees over here with the house of Hillel. When they don't agree, the house of Shammai tells Bet Hillel, I don't agree with you. Adacha is like you, I'm going to do like you. Over here they say, I agree with you. So in your logic, the reason why it brought the story to tell you, you should know that over here, the house of Shammai they don't have a logic over here. In the logic, they agree over here to the house of Hillel. So don't think that it's a legitimate logic to hold in your hand. It's not. That's why they bring the story. The Rebbe would take such a Mishnah.
למה זה באיסט?
Oh, it says
Why is it in the east?
exactly.
Why does it stand in the south?
And why is it important to bring in the Mishnah? It says the Mishnah, every small little thing is important. It will never tell you things which it doesn't tell you stories. It tells you it's very strange. So the Rebbe is going to stand. What do we learn from the fact that he was standing in the east gate? I think I'll tell you why. A couple of things that comes into mind. It looks like it's a dough that was probably brought in the temple, right? It's the dough that was brought in the temple, and he's standing in the east gate specifically because the sun rising and it makes it hotter in the day, which makes this. This is the practical. The practice, but it still doesn't explain. I don't care. Yeah, but I still don't. It still doesn't care. Why do you care if it's an east gate or in your bedroom? It can rise in your kitchen. The same. It's the same law. It's still a little bit strange. It still teaches us something deeper, something which, by the way, if I would, just an interesting thing. If you ever get to such a thing in the Gemara, usually the Gemara is not even going to discuss it. Because it's hidden. It's something which is hidden. It's not nigle. It's not a revealed part of the Torah. It's a hidden part of the Torah. The first person I will go to find something is called the Maharsha. The Maharsha on the Gemara might actually ask this question because he deals with all these kind of things and he might deal with it. So if you ever learn Gemara and you come to such a Mishnah, you always go to the Maharsha. He might talk about it. Not necessarily, but a good chance that he's going to talk about who cares about the East Gate? Why is it bringing it on? So that's what will be discussed. Let's stop.